Peace, y'all. Peace, peace. This is Star with the Star Blooms. Okay, so I got like a couple of like a channel messages yesterday, and y'all, sometimes spirit will stop you right in your tracks. I say this all the time, but it's on purpose. It's on purpose. It's always a point. Okay, yesterday my baby girl was getting her dinner or lunch. Yeah, her dinner ready, like around 6 something. And I made her plate, and she's like, "No, mommy, I want pomegranate." And I'm like, "No, the pomegranate's going bad. The pomegranate's going bad." She's like, "No, mommy, just try it, you know." I'm like, "No, them pomegranates is going bad. I had every intention on just juicing them, you know, like, don't worry about it. You could eat an apple or something." I was just trying to get her to eat something else. When I tell y'all, spirit will use any and every way if you allow it. If you allow it, there's always a message for you. Anyways, I was I, no pomegranates. That's where my head was at. She gets up, she goes in the kitchen. Um, as I'm washing my hands, she comes. She look, mommy, look, it's a pomegranate. I'm like, babe, this is bad, and it's so brown. Um, I wish I would have kept a piece so I could share it. It's so brown on the outside, and I'm like, whatever. She's like, just just I want it. Just like I still want the fruit. Just try it, you know. And I cut it open. Yeah, and I cut it up in like how I regularly cut it up. And she says, "Look," and the fruit look okay. And I'm burping, excuse me. The fruit look okay. So I'm like, okay, I'm cutting it open, and I'm so apprehensive because if you know what the pomegranate looks like, I was about to say, because if you know the nature of a pomegranate, I share you. If you know what the inside of the pomegranate looks like, it's usually like a white flesh that's like so tightly cushioned and like suctioned into the pieces of the fruit. And the flesh of the fruit is like so cushioned in that if the outside of it goes bad, it usually taints the fruit itself. Oh my goodness. And as I was taking it apart, she's just grabbing it with no fear, with no thought process, no hesitation in her mind. And she's eating it by the handfuls as I'm taking it and hitting it and knocking the pieces out. I'm grossed out by having to see the parts that are basically like brown and they look like dried out, right? And she says, "It's still good." And when she said it's still good, I said, the fruit is still good. The fruit is still good. And I just started like thanking spirit because I recognize, thinking about numerology again, y'all. I've been sitting with the six and how the six is in the midst of, you know, her birthing session. You know, she's literally right there, literally like the third quarter. And there's something that needs to be protected there. But a lot of the times, y'all, I don't know why I'm getting emotional. A lot of the times we don't recognize how covered and how protected we are. And I was about to say because there's more players in position to actually hold the key spot at its ready. Um, Regardless of whatever circumstance you find yourself in, your nurturer will come and nurture the nurturer. The protection will come and cover the protector. There's always key players, even if it's behind the doors of the doors that we sometimes seem to think aren't open for us. Whatever it is, there's always a covering. And when I heard the flesh is still good, the fruit is still good, I thought about how a lot of the times we go through some of like the most life shaking and shattering events. And we believe that we bad fruit after it, y'all. We believe that, um, yeah, like the final curtain. You get what I'm saying? Like this is it. The end has come. You get what I'm saying? You have this idea that the specs, you know, yeah, fat meat ain't greasy. You be thinking like the truth in it is that by all means that fruit should have been bad. the environment had been so harsh on this fruit, organic at its core. However, the environment had been so harsh on the fruit, so much so that it had dried up all of the flesh that was like cushioning the fruit in. However, it was just enough. It was just enough protection, y'all, on this fruit for the fruit to not be harmed. Not one piece of that fruit was bad, y'all. Not one piece of the fruit took on to the brown that was on the outside of it. Not one part of it wasn't edible. She didn't, the flavor, it was even sweeter. Oh, good God. It was even sweeter than the last one that she had had. It tastes even better than the one that I considered to be fresh a couple of days before. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes we believe that the triumphant tasks that we're tracking on. Sometimes we believe that the journey, the circumstance, the events that have occurred with us have wounded us and have tarnished us so bad. That's why when you dealing with karmics and you find yourself at a rate where you dealing with somebody who believes themselves to be in opposition of you, you in a situation where there's this whole conversation right now where there's people wanting to talk about the person who has the ability and the one who doesn't have the ability to destiny swap, and you find yourself dealing with and entertaining someone who has the idea of wearing you on them and not being in a space where they happy to have them on them. When you find yourself in these predicaments and you are at these rates of even spiritual warfare that has occurred, and you believe that the events that have came have knocked you down a couple of steps, right? Spirit has a way of showing us the truth. It's Psalms 91. You know, it's Psalms 91. That's the reality of it. You know, you dwelled in a place that was always meant to cover you and to protect you. That scripture say, y'all, let's not you dash your foot on a stone. Like, I don't even want you to bump your pinky toe. That's the type of covering that you got. That's the type of love that has come in and covered over you and protected you. A lot of the times, y'all, prior to this point, I believe that I had been called out of, a relationship due to the fact of, black magic and the reality of it. And I said this in a message where I basically said that B had a purpose as pawn to the queen. It's a reality here that you get to understand that is always true. Even the things that have come against you to so-called tarnish you, to be the opposition, even the things that have come to bring you down or to end you, the death magic, the voodoo dolls, the all of the things that have occurred that were meant to take you out, that were always meant to awaken the truth within you that lied and lays dormant. And the thing that a lot of people are starting to recognize, had I not placed my focus and my attention and my intent over here while I was actually paying attention to the collective, or had I not took my energy off of right here and I focused on the thing that was my seed, and while I was paying attention, the thing that you get to know when you dealing with that six, y'all, is that one, there's life that is this beating and alive here. There is not only a potential, but there's a destiny that we will meet here, and it is a thing that needs to be protected, and it will be protected. However, even in the midst of coming into the trial of this thing, and you birthing something new, and you have this space where you having to allow yourself to be cocooned and nested and in I don't know why I was about to say in the hollow place that shells you, right? Right? You went back into the womb. Yeah. You asked your spirit guides. Like, what's true here? What's true here? What's true here? What's the truth? What's the truth? Am I divinely covered and protected? Hell going on the outside, and you are. Spirit said, and you are. All right. Am I